today's briefing is on the current situation. Of course, you know very well what had happened, and this is why you are all here. I call you to brief you on the current situation and the latest developments. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, of course, as you have been following from the beginning of March up to now, there are so many events that have been happening, and all these are a result of this is in accordance with the intelligence report and security and intelligence reports that Dr. Riek Machar, the first Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, and the Chairman of the SPLM-AIO, the Chairman and Commander-in-Chief of the SPLM-AIO, had all this time been in contact with his people, with his bases, and as a result of these contacts, a lot of things happened within the month of March. As you know very well, the first thing that started was when the White Army decided to assemble and attack the Nasir garrison. Before the attack, when they had besieged the garrison, we talked with the first Vice President and told him and requested him to direct his forces, which are the White Army, who later on turned out to be the NAS forces. These are IO forces. We requested him to direct his forces to withdraw from NAS. This was on the 3rd. This was the meeting which was held on the 3rd in the office of the President. On that meeting, Dr. Riek, instead of directing his forces to withdraw, he directed them to attack Nasir garrison, and as a result, Nasir garrison was captured in the morning of the 4th of March. After the capture, Riek Machar also promised the UNMISS, he directed the late General, or Matar, General Major, he directed him to surrender to the IO forces. And the general refused, and just to go and pick those who are there with the general. He promised them, but unfortunately, his promise did not have any impact. And he continued to make his promises. The helicopters went and they could not pick those who were in the tanks, the general and his staff. They were shot at, so they came back. They went back to Malakal. The other day he gave them another assurance, and with that assurance the helicopters went and landed. And when the general was about to board the plane, they were all shot down, including a UN personnel who was in the helicopter. That was against his assurances that they would not be killed. So the general and his colleagues were all killed. And these were directives from the chief, the commander-in-chief, the chairman and commander-in-chief of the SPLM-IO. Now, these events continue to develop. And as a result, the IO forces, in the name of the White Army and the NAS Defense Forces, 1, attack and overran Nasir garrison. Number 2, the SPLM-AIO continue to mobilize and preach hate speech, hatred, and tribalism in the name of protection the North land. The North land, which means the land of the Nuer, or the Nuer land. On the 25th of March, on the directives of Dr. Riek Machar as well, the SPLM-IO forces, we were already in the unified forces, attacked their brothers and sisters in those areas. They attacked them, they attacked their colleagues who were trained with them, deployed with them, and they were staying together. They attacked them on the 25th in Tunga, Nyalwar, Bunku, Wadlel, and Rajaf Training Center. And they took over these areas. They took over these positions. That took place, what took place in Rajaf here is very near, and you know what happened. They took over these areas, and the forces here for Rajaf, the SSPDF had to move to go and take over Rajaf. They fell in an ambush by these forces, by the SPLM-IO forces, and nevertheless, the SSPDF managed to repulse them and chase them away from the center. For other places, of course, they are still continuing under their occupation, and the SSPDF is progressing, and it is moving towards those centers in order to take them over from. On the 26th of March, and on the directives of Dr. Riek Machar, the SPLM-IO component at the training centers of Makuei, Wanyer withdrew to unknown destination. This is there is a training center here, which was meant actually to be the training college, where the IO forces, where the national security forces were there, combined forces. Those forces withdrew, and it is not known where they have gone. They don't have arms, but they withdrew with some of the trainers. Some of the trainers who were armed, they withdrew with them to unknown destination. Also, the forces of Anyer also, who were there, they have also withdrawn with their trainers, and it is not known where they have gone. But they are, our heroes and heroines shed their blood and sacrificed their lives. There's no joke about this, because this independence which we got today was not given to us on a silver plate. It was paid for, and we have paid lives and blood. And as such, anybody who would attempt to play with this independence will not be tolerated. For that matter, His Excellency the President directed his arrest. People have been saying, well, this is a violation of the agreement. Does the agreement authorize anybody to take the lives of others? Does the agreement authorize you to do whatever that is unlawful because of the agreement? No. The agreement is an agreement governed by law, and we must abide by that law. If we decide to violate in the name of the agreement, then it is unfortunate. So, with that, this is to inform you that the Vice President is under house arrest, and he will be investigated. The outcome of the investigation will be known to you. Why did the President do that? The President did this in order to save the agreement. All these efforts which are being exerted and all these games which were being played around are games which are meant to derail the agreement. There are events, all that took place is to ensure, for them to ensure that the agreement does not go ahead, that the agreement collapses, so that we don't go for elections. So anybody who is obstructing the progress of this agreement will not be tolerated. I'm saying this because the agreement came as a result of negotiations. It did not give any party the right to obstruct the progress which is being made in the implementation of that. It did not give anybody the right. To commit offenses in the name of the agreement so that he is tolerated because we are fearing that the agreement may collapse. No. Such actions are the actions that will lead to the collapse of the agreement. This is why the president had to intervene in order to prevent the collapse of the agreement. So this is the reason why Dr. Riek Machar, if you might have heard, is at present under house arrest. There are those who are in the social media. There are those who are saying, no, the vice president is not under house arrest. I've come here to confirm that he's under house arrest, so that you don't listen to all those people. Those who try to deviate and create unnecessary havoc around the issues. With that, as a government, we call upon the brothers and sisters who have been misled or misinformed and moved in a way or the other against the government to come back and report to their respective units or institutions. Anybody who is misinformed, anybody who is misled, please come back to your unit. If you are from the regular forces, you are from the SSPDF, you are from the regular forces, or you are from IO and you are not yet integrated, please come back to the government side. If you are integrated and a member of the unified forces, come back and report to your unified forces. We will not question you, but we ask you to come back. We also call upon the national and the regional international organizations to give a helping hand in terms of food and shelter to the communities that are affected by this disaster. His own hands. And this is why Radisson Blu, the management of Radisson Blu decided to write that way. Radisson Blu will answer. And it is that report of Radisson Blu that has caused a lot of negative impact. And that is not the correct way, that is not the right way. With this, I urge the citizens to disregard any social media propaganda and cautions them to refrain from spreading false information and making inflammatory remarks to fuel this situation. If those of Radisson Blu can come up with such a thing, what are they doing? They are fueling up this situation. If Radisson Blu, as a company, feels insecure, they should pack and go. But they should not call on foreigners, other expatriates, and tell them, no, you are insecure. Are they in charge of their security? Even the staff of the Radisson Blu is the responsibility of the government of South Sudan. Not for them to claim being responsible for the security of others. And who are those authorities that usually advise them on security issues here in South Sudan? This is how we have been infiltrated. This is how security of South Sudan has been compromised, and we will not allow that to happen anymore. Anybody who tampers with the security of South Sudan will not be tolerated. Because we are here as a government. We are here as a sovereign state. Anybody, any foreigner who does not feel secure, is up to him or her to go. But for others to tell others that no, you don't need to stay here, go away, then we will start with them to go away. And even if it means that business closes down, we will do so. Because they are not helping us in any way, they only came to establish a business. And if they have come here to establish a business and they have decided to take over the security of our country, then that is a different. So I'm requesting all the media houses to refrain from collecting information from unreliable sources. Collect information from the right sources whom you can quote. Because this is the most important thing. Any information that you get, you must quote it so that when you are asked, you will be in a position to say, yes, I got it from X or Y. But when you pick it anyhow and then you begin to disseminate it, at the end of the day, you may find yourself forwarding or giving out the necessary an information which is not in place. An example. Yesterday, Mama Rebecca, the vice president, who had been sick all this time, left yesterday from Juba International Airport, going to Nairobi, and today she will be leaving for Dubai. She is going for treatment. Now, some of you have already picked it and said, oh, things are very bad. Even Mama Rebecca has escaped. Imagine. And even if I were not to come back, I think you would have said that Michael has escaped. Because I had to come back and cut my mission yesterday, and I came back yesterday. These are some of the information that need to be verified before you pass any information. To take your questions, there will be very few. And yes.
Yes.
And also, it is not also a bad idea if you want us to stay up to midnight here, comrade. Because I'm seeing so many hands here. Yes. Start from here. Tell me who are you and
ذكرت انه النائب الاول حيطلع بالحديث حل بياني انه تم رفع حصانه النائب الاول.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable.
Yes.
My name is Akedi from Lagos State Media. Akedi James.
Akidi?
Yes. So, my question
From
is
where?
from Lagos State Media.
Leg?
LSM, yeah. So my question is, why is the government is my concern of peace agreement meanwhile Vice President didn't say any statements in the tension?
Huh?
I'm saying, why is the government my concern of peace agreement, 2018 peace agreement? Meanwhile, Victoria didn't say anything since the tension started.
Why is the government concerned about
the peace agreement?
the peace agreement
Yeah.
at the time when?
Victoria didn't say anything.
Why is the government?
Yeah.
Because the agreement, I will answer you very short. The rest I will give them. But the government the agreement belongs to the government. And the government includes all of us, including the military.
Riek is not worried about this peace agreement.
Well, that is his own problem. They are more concerned about the peace agreement.
Thank you.
Yes? Okay? Yes?
Thank you. My name is Sogam John. I work for SSPC. Sogam John.
Sorghum.
Yeah, I work for SSBC. We understood and we are well aware that there are politicians who have been placed under arrest. And up to now, they have not been producing the court of law. Why is it taking long for them to be produced in court of law? And what is the next steps for them?
Yes, Nak?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Eddie from Classic. Can you make us understand, and the people of South Sudan, after all this, and the first vice president put on the house arrest members of SPLMIO, some of them are out of the country. What is the future of the peace agreement? We've talked about the peace agreement.
Who are you?
Esbon
Born
from Classic.
from
Classic FM.
What is the fate of the peace agreement?
Yes. How is it going to be implemented when some members of SPLMIO are out of the country and their leader is under house arrest?
Yes. Yes.
Simon Day. Simon Day,
Yes.
the Dawn newspaper. Yeah, Honorable, I would like to ask, can you tell us exactly the main charge against the first vice president that placed him under house arrest? Public may need to know if there is an arrest warrant and the charges.
Yes. It will be very matter of fact. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Daniel Grant from the radio community. Yeah, you said the
Which community? There are so many communities.
Okay, it is a network of community radio stations. Let me say Akoli Amata. Yeah, you said the first vice president is under house arrest and will be investigated. We want to know what happened to his role as he undergo investigation and how long will the investigation take? Thank you.
Public issues. And in the course of investigation, you don't talk of whatever that is happening over there. And as such, those of you who want to know as to why Riek Machar was arrested, he is arrested because he is charged, accused of being in conflict with the law. As to how he is in conflict with the law, this is what will be investigated. You know very well in the course of investigation, an accused person is presumed innocent until his guilt is proved. So what happened is that you are accused, yes, you are presumed innocent, but you are subjected to investigation. It is the investigation that will prove as to whether you are in conflict with the law or not. So that is the situation in which we are. I will not be telling you that Riek Machar is charged under this section of the law or under that section of the law, but he is in conflict with the law. So that is what I can say. On the issue of immunity, these are issues you have nothing to do with all this. As to whether he was released, he was arrested without immunity or with immunity, that is none of your concern. So don't ask me about the lifting of the immunity, because it is irrelevant here. There is that person who was saying, yeah, we have heard that Riek Machar had been arrested, and there are so many others who were arrested before him. Why are they not being brought before the court? Ladies and gentlemen, we should not put the cart before the horse. I say this because Sending somebody to the court, it means that you have completed your investigation and you are taking the case there. Being under investigation does not take you to the court. Does not take you to the court, because when we take you to the court, we are taking you for trial. And before you go for trial, you must be investigated. We are at the stage of investigation, and as such, those of you who want to put the cart before the horse should wait patiently. The time will come when you will know that these people have been taken to the court. There is a question which says, with this situation, what is the fate of the agreement? What is the fate of the agreement? The fate of the agreement is not in danger at present. I say it is not in danger because what you have in mind, that the person who asked the question is that, oh, the agreement has collapsed. This is what you have in mind when you ask that question. The agreement has not collapsed. Be assured that the agreement has not collapsed and it is there. The fact that this agreement, by the way, was signed by 5 political parties. 5 parties signatory to the agreement. These 5 parties signatory to the agreement, if any of them decides to opt out, it does not in any way make the agreement to collapse. Because the agreement is owned by these 5 signatories. Not that only, but the fact that the chairperson of that particular party called the SPLM-AIO has been arrested doesn't mean that the whole membership of the SPLM-AIO is under arrest. It doesn't mean that the whole membership of the SPLM-AIO is against the agreement. For Riek Machar as a person, yes, this is what he has been doing, and we have sufficient evidence that will incriminate him. Riek Machar is now not the IO and should not be connected as such with him. He is the chairperson. So that is about it. Well, about the wife of the first vice president and the minister of interior, there is nothing as such. This is another wild rumor being run by you here in the social media, that the vice president and his wife have been put under house arrest. It is the vice president, even the minister of interior has been going to her office. It is her husband who is under arrest, not her. But you presume that she is under a house arrest because she is living with her husband in the same house. This is the difference. So you need to differentiate. If she was under house arrest, she would have not have been going to the office. Some of you might have seen her going to the office. But there are some of you also who are spreading that information, that the first vice president and his wife Angelina have been arrested. That is not the case. The last question was what?
International community.
What do you say?
Actually, I was saying that the international community is concerned about the arrest of Riek Machar.
The international community.
And he's the second most senior person in the country.
Yes, even the president sometimes is arrested, not the vice president. Is it the first time in the world for a first vice president to be arrested? And why is the international community more concerned about his arrest at a time when it is not concerned about the lives that have been lost in Nasser? The international community has never condemned what happened in Nasser. but is now condemning the arrest of the first vice president because he has killed people in Africa. Why is the international community more concerned about the arrest of somebody whose life is still there at a time when he had taken away lives? Of course, the international community, I don't know, that what you call the international community. The international community. Who is an international community? That is what I can say.
Yeah,
So the international community, you are more concerned about the arrest of the vice president, are more concerned about the lives which have been taken by the first vice.
What happened to his role as the first vice president?
That is immaterial. Even if you kill a person and you are a president, you will be arrested.
Are there evidence that he has killed people?
Don't you know what happened in North? You don't know it?
So now he's under investigation. Is the work is stopping his work?
Be disciplined.
Yes, what?
Until I call you.
Yes. Honorable
Yes.
Minister.
You have already talked.
No, I didn't. I didn't ask. It was my colleague. Now, you're saying that the past vice president is under was arrest. Do you have a plan to be removed from this house to another place?
Plan, when you are put under house arrest, it means that you are kept in the house. That's what.
But we have a plan because you cannot do investigation with someone in his
Why?
house.
Why should he not be investigated in his house? What do you have in mind when you ask me that question? You want to tell me that he should be taken to where? Yes, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Minister. I will be going back to the issue of misinformation and spread of lies. And I think you seem to have blamed social media much and the media. But looking at what is happening now online, I agree with you that there is actually worse, if not the worst of worst, misinformation happening. But majority of